Hello everybody and welcome to the Jurassic World Evolution live stream here live from Frontier Developments. My name's Ed, I'm part of the community management team at Frontier and I'm joined by a very, very special guest, a very, very exciting guest. Well, he needs no introduction, but it's the director of Jurassic World. It's Colin Trevorrow.
I'm Colin, hello.
Hi there, Colin.
Thanks for letting me hang out, man, this is cool.
This is the first like video game live stream you've ever been on?
It is. I play video games alone. No one watches me. I play it with my kids. I could do that. This is how old I am. Is that I am just learning, over the past 2 years that it is even a thing to watch someone play video games live, because I came up with, I was a Nintendo guy. I was, and not even Nintendo 64, like really old school.
The NES, the SNES,
yeah, exactly. Which is fun because I've got my daughter who is 6. We got her the Nintendo that has everything on it, and so she's into Super Mario, and I think that there actually is great value in a child having to play those games where you have to start from the beginning every single time.
Absolutely.
It teaches them a respect for the level and a respect for accomplishment and for achievement. So I've just got her doing that, and I see the joy when she gets to level 2, even in one session, level 3, she's thrilled. So. That's what we're into. Yeah.
So, you came in today to Frontier Developments. It's worth mentioning now, actually, that, of course, there is an update coming. We have told you about that before, to Jurassic World Evolution, and that's going to be free for all players. That's not what we're talking about today, but you have seen it.
I saw it.
Cool?
It's amazing.
I'm ready to cut you off.
No, I'm not going to say anything, but what is cool about it, and again, this is me being an old person just discovering how games have changed since I was young, is that it's like this living, breathing thing. It is constantly growing and evolving and turning into something that down the road, 3 years, 4 years from now, it will be a completely different experience than it was when it began. And that's not something that I ever got to know, as a gamer. This is new. The fact that it's constantly evolving, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, absolutely, and it is an awesome thing to be able to work on that side of video games and seeing how those things evolve and move on. So, Jurassic World, right? For us, that's a huge deal. For Frontier, it was such an exciting thing for us to be able to work on something that obviously has such a legacy and is so widely respected. You got to direct the film. How did that feel?
I did. It was an amazing experience, as you can imagine, and it's not dissimilar in that you have. On a film like Jurassic World, about 3,000 people in various roles, and what it takes from just a creative collective standpoint to be able to design and build an experience that people then have over 2 hours in a theater. In meeting everybody who works here today, it just reminded me so much of the spirit that we have when making the films. Is you have people who, first of all, love dinosaurs, and even the guy who runs this place, he studied paleontology, when he was in college, and so I feel like since we are,
he studied a lot. That guy,
he studied a lot, and but he knows, and so when the accuracy that everyone is striving for in the context of, the kind of faux accuracy that exists in the Jurassic Park world with frog DNA and all of that, it's pretty cool to see how many minds it takes to go into creating a game and a film, and how similar those numbers are.
Yeah, it's. We've got the film up here because I think we've definitely got to, as you can see on the screen. That's how we look right now.
Oh, there we are. This is what
we're floating
people
above.
Are seeing.
This is what people are seeing. That's right. And,
you're right. If I'd worn a green T-shirt, we'd be in a lot of trouble.
I don't know when. Just to check. Are you wearing a green T-shirt today? That sounds like something fun. Sounds like a fun idea. So as you can see, this is the game. You've already been shown off the game already, but I've got some dinosaurs ready for you to see, just because why not?
I played this on the Xbox, so I wouldn't even know how to navigate this.
So here's the Indominus Rex. You're very familiar with the Indominus Rex?
Yeah.
And of course we can't quite hear it, but the people in the chat will be able to. We've got as well some people in the chat and some people doing asking questions. We had Twitter asking questions as well earlier.
Okay.
So straight away, if you don't mind, I'm going to say, what is your ideal dinosaur that you would have in your own Jurassic World? That's from Dakota Morgan. Thank you so much,
Hey, Dakota,
for your question.
I love the Ankylosaurus. I think is an amazing dinosaur. I've always loved that animal. I love the Microceratus, which we haven't actually had in any of the movies yet. You probably don't even have that here. It's very small, but it's the kind that you would. Yeah, the Ankylo we have. I love the. Oh, we're gonna add them as we go? Okay, and do you guys have a Sino? Do you have a Sinoceratops?
We do.
That's one from the new film.
This is not. This is the.
Oh, there's the Indoraptor. Yeah, not a real dinosaur. For those watching at home, which is always it's so beautiful.
Yeah, amazing.
This is J.A. Bayona's dinosaur. I mean, this you can write this stuff, but to have somebody who's such a visual storyteller come in and be able to create his own dinosaur is like a wish fulfillment dream for someone. And man, the lighting in this game is nuts.
It's great, right?
It's so beautiful.
I'm being very cautious with my lining up of the shots. I feel like you would be critiquing.
No, I mean it's just really it's the direction of the light, the way it responds off the skin, and the textures of it all. It's are these guys gonna fight?
Yeah, and the well, I hope so. But
so my son is watching in the other room, and he's been wanting to see this fight for a long time, so he's probably really fired up right now.
Well,
this is finally gonna happen.
We'll find out what happens. Well, for the time being, though, we'll let them be at peace.
Let them fight.
And then go and see if the Anki's ready yet. Oh, it's still incubating. So
take a minute.
A couple of questions. Why not? Because we've got your time here. Somebody says Reddit on Slammed DK1 says on Reddit says how come fan favorite Blue didn't get more screen time?
I feel like every fan favorite is best used in certain doses, and I think everybody can overstay their welcome. I think there's the old adage of leave people wanting more. In this scenario, Blue is a character who we didn't even realize when we made the first film that people are going to care about in the way they do. You didn't always care about the dinosaurs in the way that I think people have begun to care. And so, there they go. Is this even a fair fight?
I think it could be. I'm actually not sure. You can see the health rating there. Yeah, I mean they're very equal in the health, 37% to 30%.
Dominus is a massive animal. It's really.
Raptors are one of the most vicious predators, though.
It is. Well, it's highly intelligent, but it looks like it's in a lot of trouble, man. I don't know.
They're both a bit upset.
Turned his back on him. Oh.
I'm sure that they'll get back to it in a second. In the time being, let's get another question. So, Canary Nick says, this is an interesting one. What would be your best piece of advice for an aspiring screenwriter like Canary Nick?
Man, my advice for a screenwriter or a director, like any kind of creative person, is to travel the world and meet as many different kinds of people as possible. Because we live in a global entertainment.
Oh! It's not looking good.
Damn! Just his whole head. Oh! Yeah, no, it's not looking good. Well, now we know who wins that fight.
Congratulations.
Well, we live in a world where if you make a movie like Jurassic, it's our responsibility to entertain people from all over the planet who grow up in very different ways, have very different perspectives, have very different cultures. So to understand all of those perspectives and cultures, not just in the people you meet online, which is why games like this are incredible, because people are, you're actually forming not always positive, but relationships and friendships with people from everywhere. But man, just traveling and living and making mistakes and getting weird and will make you a better storyteller for sure.
Excellent stuff. Okay, we also have another one. Just of Bloody Sparta or Luster. I've been wondering for a while, Mr. Colin, when your love for the dinosaurs began. I mean, it must have been an honour to direct one of the Jurassic movies.
Yeah, I mean, I was a dinosaur fan from the very beginning. I feel like there's this point that every kid reaches. It might happen around 3, where every boy or girl has this moment where they see a dinosaur and they're just like preternaturally attracted to it. They just want to know more about it. It's like it's in our DNA, and it literally is. Yeah. That would be something we would be into, and some go deeper into it than others. Some are 40 now and still haven't let it go. People like me, but it seems like everybody has a moment.
just want to draw your attention to the fact that we now have Colin.
Oh, right on.
Dinosaurs.
See, that feels right to me. Like if you were going to name one dinosaur, he feels like me. He's like this hard shell, but he's soft on the. Oh, he's going to die now. Well, let's see. You don't know that. They fought before.
It's true. And actually, the Indominus Rex's health is low, so this might be Colin's.
This would be amazing.
This might be Colin's fight.
Come on, man. We saw what happened last time.
This could be Colin's fight.
But he's got, the problem is that his head is like a tic tac to that thing. And as we've seen before,
club-like tail.
Get him. Come on. Oh!
It's gonna happen.
He's limping into it. He's limping into it. Finish him.
Everybody in the chat, let's give Colin.
Finish him.
He's done it.
Oh! Oh! I never thought I'd see it. Oh, that's great. Thank you.
Colin the panicking Ankylosaurus.
Yeah, you bet you should panic. Maybe he's got friends. Get out of there.
It is a she as well, though, as we all know.
They're
of
all
course,
she's.
They're all she's, yeah. But
except the Indoraptor. The Indoraptor's a he.
Yeah. Yeah. 1 second. So we.
Oh man, he's really running. She's really running.
She being Colin.
Yeah.
Great. Well, there you go. I mean, that's pretty effective so far.
I've never seen a felled Indominus Rex.
And that's the kind of thing that the wonderful thing about Jurassic World Evolution is. Of course, you've seen these dinosaurs and these beautiful, like, iconic creatures in a completely different way that you wouldn't usually see them. You get to spend time looking at them.
Look at that. And you guys know when to backlight. Do you remember the only note that when you guys showed me down the road, the one note, and he said they actually named the camera after me, was that I said whenever the dinosaurs come in, always shoot them low at first, low up, so you feel how grand they are, and then let the player move around, but always be below them, below their eye level. By the way,
isn't he still there? That ground.
You guys always get the pupil size right on the T-Rex. There's a lot of we have a lot of times a lot of art that's done for the movie, and people often have the pupils far too big, and you guys get it exactly right. It's like the original animatronic.
Excellent. Well, that's nice to hear. Also, we can drive our ranger station around as well.
Yep.
Our rangers around. If I can try to find, basically, I'm trying to assist Colin to a second victory here.
You'll never beat that. I've been wanting to see that my whole life. The ultimate rematch.
I'm probably going the wrong way. Let's see. Regardless, anyway, so there's some more questions here as well. You can actually see them yourselves. If you could direct a film for any video game, which would it be? That's a really fascinating question.
Oh, that's an interesting question. For any video game, there's a video game that I played on the original Xbox called Circus Maximus. Did you ever play that game? Like, we were obsessed with this when I was in. I don't know if it was even that popular when I was probably like 24, 25, and we would play all day. And it was just this chariot racing game, and you were alongside each other, and it was 2 players, and one guy would drive the chariot, and the other guy was on the back with like an axe or various kind of weapons, hacking at other guys. And that
sounds fascinating.
It was. I mean, we couldn't stop. And this, Halo was available. There were deep games.
Universal, if you're listening, Circus Maximus.
Circus Maximus.
Okay, so I'm trying to assist Colin there by shooting at her with a dart rifle to give her an unfair advantage against the Rex. But there you go. Hello. Enjoying the water there.
They don't seem to recognize, like, they don't spot the Jeeps and know what that means.
They can get panicked by it.
Do they get panicked
by it and run away from it, and often they will charge at it as well and try and knock it out of the way.
Right.
The raptors will circle around it.
They would figure it out, because only certain, we've learned the T-Rex is far more intelligent than we thought. So we may have to add to change the T-Rex's intelligence level to acknowledge this, because we used to think she had the walnut size.
But now,
look at that, so beautiful.
It's good, isn't it? Look at it. Look at the way it is.
So beautiful.
Bo asks, another community manager here at Frontier, asks, what is your kids' favourite part of the game, or I suppose of the series? I mean, they must have.
Of this game,
to watch it?
Yeah, they are. My daughter, we're kind of keeping her. She's only 6, so we're keeping her in more the 16-bit land right now. But my son is just sort of fascinated with our incompetence as park builders. He thinks it's just hilarious how bad we are at keeping the animals alive, at getting guests into the park, because we. The amount of time we've been able to play the game has not allowed for us to build. Oh,
I'm trying to.
Wait, what are you doing, man?
Like, in the way.
Are you gonna let the T-Rex kill my?
No, I'm trying.
I
really don't want that to happen. Wait. Here we go.
It was like,
it's all right.
You had a once in a lifetime win, and now you're testing her again.
She's She's our champion. Oh, she's running away. She's
running away.
Which is probably a logical thing to do.
I think she's very smart.
Yeah,
She knows
so-
she got to win.
However, we have. Is there anyone that you'd like to name the T-Rex?
Well, is it Rexy? Is it our original?
Oh, we don't want to watch Rexy die, though.
No.
What should we go for?
God, there's like a short list of things that.
Give me a name.
The last thing I'd ever do. We'll have someone online.
Oh, that's great.
Well, there already happened.
Betty
There's
the T-Rex.
T-Rex.
There you go. Thank you so much, Commander Drake. Betty the T-Rex is circling around me, and I'm sure that she's not feeling too great about that. I love just the dinosaur corpse in the background. This
cool.
is terrible park management, ladies and gentlemen.
You know what I saw?
Shouldn't be doing this.
No.
Sorry, I'm going to run away from this.
Yeah.
Go on. Sorry, as you were saying.
I watched. There was a player who took all of the paddocks and put them in a giant circle with the doors facing in, and opened all the doors at once with all of your carnivores to be able to have this giant battle royale. And I did watch it. I watched it.
I can't remember what the creator's name is, but they've created a series of that. Yeah, and they keep doing new videos where it's like, let's see who the final dinosaur can be.
Yeah,
it's a good one.
that was pretty cool.
Find it for us. Interesting stuff.
It's amazing. What's amazing is the general design for all of this. These amber pillars to the monorail, like the paddock doors, everything that's in this game. We designed that 3 years ago, and you just kind of think you're doing it once for a movie, and that's the end of it. But here it lives in this completely interactive world. Which of all the, there's some things that I'm proud of, and other things I'm not proud of, and this is something I'm very proud of. To have been involved in something like this is just incredible.
I think
we can all say the same thing.
Yeah, say everyone for everyone at Frontiers, it's been such a pleasure to be part of this. Have you got time for a few more questions?
Yeah,
or
sure,
are we okay to keep going?
Yeah.
You just say when, and it's absolutely fine. Can we? So Pixel Ritual says, Colin, when did you know that J.A. Byrne was the perfect choice for JW Fallen Kingdom? He was an inspired choice for a director and did a great job. I would agree. That sort of gothic horror segment. Oh gosh, incredible.
Well, I knew that I really wanted to. I wanted it to change and to evolve and have a completely different feeling in a way that it couldn't if I had directed it myself, like a genuinely different kind of movie. And so I'm like a fan. Like I wrote a fan film for what's going to happen. Oh,
yeah, she's there.
You did it. I did not. Don't look at me.
I may have slightly assisted Colin.
Don't look at me.
But Colin is an absolute machine right now.
Felled.
Colin's dinosaur
Rexy.
Rating is huge.
Look at that guy. He's beautiful. She's beautiful. He's got a name.
Yeah. The combat infamy of 400.
Amazing. I love that. I love that dinosaur. So that, it's like fan fiction, Jurassic World 2, for a director that I love, and I think he did an incredible job. I think the movie has amazing rewatch value, and I think over the years, especially as people see how it's fitting in, how it will ultimately fit into the story we're telling, and what role it has, as you can see at the very end of the film, the equilibrium has changed, and we fundamentally, not only did we burn down the island, which was the location for this franchise, for its for 4 movies before, but we've
which was it's stunning.
It's a bold move,
Yeah.
and you take a certain risk when you do something like that. But I felt like there was a way that we could, this movie was a bridge to something new.
Spoiler alert.
I've gotten so good at being able to talk about things without spoiling things. That's one of my skills now.
Other than the previous, Luke Ripton asks, other than the previous Jurassic films, what other films inspired your approach to Jurassic World? It's a goodie.
Yeah. What feel to the whole thing? I think that when I think about the way that these movies are evolving, like I really wanted to look at great character-based franchises that have told stories that exist in worlds that are fantastical, but have people who feel completely real. And Lord of the Rings, however fantastical all that is, you genuinely care about those characters, and you're following them through a world that could never possibly exist. And Star Wars is the same, and I think those big kind of serialized character-based epics are something that I think it would be hard at first to imagine how you could turn something like Jurassic, that is essentially just a bunch of people running away from dinosaurs on an island every time, into something like that. But that was the attempt, is to make it into a bigger story.
Well, I think fantastic job.
We're trying.
Yeah, exactly. What is J.G. Miola says, what's Colin's favourite thing about working with Jurassic franchise?
What I love is acknowledging that I am also one of those people who can, if you make a case to me that there should have only been one Jurassic Park and they never should have made another movie, I'm secretly a member of that club. And yeah, I'm at the very same time, I feel like younger generations deserve their own versions of the myths that we love, and to see kids, my kids' age and younger and older, there's a whole generation of kids for whom Jurassic World was their jam. And I think it's hard for anyone my age to even imagine that as like a possibility. But
that must be an awesome feeling as well.
It's an amazing feeling, yeah, and
it's incredible.
It is, and a lot of it is for them, and so to try and strike the balance of making movies for them while also not abandoning the tenets of the franchise, the foundation that is built on that we all love, is one of the hardest things about it. But when I see when I go to somebody's house and they're like, my kid just watches Jurassic World every day, he just won't stop. I went to the I know I'm on a ramble here, but this did matter to me. I live in England now, so I was coming through. Oh, look at him! Look at her!
Yeah, she's off.
Oh,
I'm sorry. Goodbye. But
I was at
Colin's
Customs.
so
There's a woman who works at Customs who told me that she watches Jurassic World because she has to stay up until 3 or 4 in the morning when her shift ends, and she watches Jurassic World every day to fall asleep. And at first I was like, well, maybe that's not as much of a compliment as I wanted. Really? And she said, no, it just kind of soothes me. There's something about it that it soothes me, and I fall asleep at some point during it, and I just watch it every day. And so thanks to her. The Sinoceratops.
Yeah, you did mention the Sino earlier, right?
Yeah, beautiful. Discovered in China. Amazing animal.
So what was your dinosaur knowledge like before you started working on these films? Was it, do you already have this sort of big back catalogue of interest? I know that you said, obviously, like you say, everyone's interested since the age of 3, but you seem to be quite knowledgeable about the location, the names, all these kind of things.
Yep. I mean, over the years, there's been more. I think there were certain, I'm like any other fan, there were just some things I wanted to see. I remember when I first came in to talk to Steven about doing Jurassic Park 4, which was what it was called. This is this guy. This guy I know. But, they're like the nerves that are surrounding a meeting like that, but there was also this very childlike desire that I had to see certain things that we all have. And so it was easy for me to ask, a sort of fan-like question. Well, you're going to have an underwater reptile in this movie, right? No, we hadn't thought about that. Yeah, if we're going to do another one of these movies, we're going to eat ourselves a mosasaurus. And just some very, that sort of very righteous, almost indignant need that you have to see certain things in the myths that you love. And so I was able to walk into the meeting with that, and I understand where everybody's coming from when they have things that they want to see. I completely know that feeling.
So any on this list as well that you are familiar or?
Well, it's cool. You guys have some that we haven't put in the movies yet, which are really beautiful.
Classic.
Look at that Sauropelta. Look at that.
Should we have a look?
It's pretty cool.
Let's have a look at the Sauropelta. Great. So we have as well, somebody says, 0D, complicated name. What inspired you to get advice from children for the movie? Is that something that has been reported?
I get advice from children on everything except finances, but everything.
Then, they might do a great job.
They might be able to see first of all, children are our base in this franchise. That's children and then grown-up children, and I feel like oftentimes what kids want to see can be the same thing that adults want to see, and so yeah, I'll ask kids what they want to see all the time. It might be why we end up doing some pretty crazy, outlandish stuff, because usually the child mind will go to places that the adult mind will just place barriers and edit itself and not want to go. And so I always want to see what kids are thinking.
If you could have any pet dinosaur, asks Captain Hero is my hero, what dinosaur would it be?
The Microceratops. I think that's the perfect pet dinosaur because the compies are vicious. You don't want one of those. No. But it has a perfect, its frill allows for petting. I've thought about it, and I would want one. I mean, you'd have to keep them on a leash, but I would want one.
A question from Michael Pierce. What was it like creating Main Street? It's one of the favourite locations in the franchise and easily as iconic, if not even more than the park from Jurassic Park. Well, it's a big compliment.
Yeah, Rick Carter worked with us a lot on Main Street, and he didn't end up being the production designer on the film. Ed Verreau, who had worked with him for a lot of years, came in and did like the real heavy lifting later on. But when it came to conceiving of the Main Street and how that was going to feel, that sort of like modern luxury Fiji hotel mixed with just sort of the corporate product placement ugliness and trying to like pull every dollar out of your pocket thing, brought together in a place that could both be beautiful while also like representing this sort of underlying greed that exists. I remember drawing the shape of the boardwalk and Main Street and the lagoon in a journal that I have, just sketched it out, and I actually found it a couple weeks ago. I was looking at it, and it's just identical to looking at this game when you look overhead and when you do the actual Main Street. We got one. I think there's one in this map, unless I deleted it. Oh, there's
the
visitor
center.
Street.
There's a
little main. Oh yeah, there's a little one here.
It's.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. That's the boardwalk. We had to change those. Those were yellow at first. These arcs, here, and we had to change them because it looked like a vintage McDonald's, and I didn't want to get like no, paint them silver. Hurry. No, the visitor center is. We wanted to make a temple to science.
Well, I'm going to put one down right now.
Okay, throw one down.
Yeah.
And I love, I have an office that we're going to have here in the UK, and we're looking for stuff to put on the walls, and instead of posters,
the Innovation Centre here.
Yeah, the Innovation Centre. That's right. That's what we called it.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. To the people watching, I'm incredibly sorry that I've not lined it up perfectly, because they'll be furious with me for doing that.
Come on, man.
Look, I apologise.
These guys are working hard, and now you're going to be like, no, to the left.
Sorry, to the left. Can we just move it back a little? But yeah, as you can see, I mean...
Yeah. But it's funny, like it's called... Right, I always forget it's called the Innovation Center, because to me it was the Visitor Center, like the original JP, but we knew that in a real situation like this, some corporation would sponsor it and they would name it after something that was related to their product. And we just completely... we went for it. I was so into making it as realistic a theme park. Oh, it's like just off to the right. You really did blow it. But
oh no!
No, it's cool. It's fine, man. It's fine.
I'll never live this. I'll never live this down. I'll never live it down. Oh, we've got some beautiful guys. Oh, some of the larger.
Oh yeah, those doors, man, so cool. Brachiosaurus.
Right, let's do a. We can't have too much of a good thing, so we'll only take up to a couple more minutes of your time. So let's ask a couple more questions, and I like this one. It's a bit of a contentious one from Insane Dane TV. Why has Rexy become sort of the hero in the Jurassic World universe? The T-Rex was originally shown as a ruthless killer in the Jurassic Park movies, but in both Jurassic World movies, she's been portrayed as this intelligent, compassionate. What was that? Is it? I imagine it's something to do with the fact that you loved the original so much that you wanted to hold this beautiful creature up in a positive light.
Well, in Jurassic World, she was an animal that was following a flare toward as a predator toward someone that she was going to fight, which I found to be a very animalistic move, and we established that she follows the bright flare anywhere. In Fallen Kingdom, you're right. Like, she does tend to pick and choose at certain moments who she's going to eat and who she isn't. I think that part of it has to do with recent discoveries that the T-Rex was more intelligent than we thought, and that's something that we're really interested in understanding more about. The other is that I think there's a bit of a meta thing going on, is that the T-Rex is a hero to us as the audience, and so at times she becomes a hero, but it's one of the things that is important to me as I think about, every movie, as we look at what the next one is, we look at what the needs are of the audience. What didn't we see that we want? I think the T-Rex, being a vicious, scary animal that is a threat to our heroes and to all is something that people love and don't want to lose. I listen. I listen to the fans. I really do.
I think that's one thing about Jurassic fans, is that they are such an incredible... This one thing that we found working with the community and working with these games is that the Jurassic fans are just some of the most engaged
They're the best.
Yeah, they just
They're the best.
really care. Which
And we don't know. They don't
which is
always
great.
like agree with what I do. It's not like it's always harmonious, but that's okay because
that.
everyone, you know, that's all right because everyone treats it. They come at it from a place of just genuine love for Dinosaurs, for the franchise, for one of the greatest movies ever made, and I think that we all understand that, you know, we're trying to make something that is just expansive and big and can be the only, you know, existing science franchise that we have, and it's a responsibility for us to make sure that we don't lose sight of the paleontology and the fact that these were real animals as we tell this bigger adventure story.
Fantastic. So to close, I've been told that that you have a couple of copies of the game to give away.
Oh yeah.
So what would you like? How we do it is we get people to say things in the chat.
Okay.
And then we will pick 2 winners. So we have 2 copies of the game to give away. So what would you like people to put on the spot to say in the chat? Either just all we have to do is say it, and we'll pick them at random afterwards. So
okay.
Is there any specific message? We can come back to it in a second if you want.
Well,
have a think about it.
If you're in this chat, you probably have the game, right?
Not everybody.
Okay, so you should definitely be someone who doesn't have the game. Like, no one should get 2.
You can give it to a friend.
Well, okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
So anything specific that you would like them to say, so then we can pick at random from the chat. What do you think?
Oh,
so they say
man.
a message, and then we search for that message, so we can randomly pick somebody for saying it. So anything at all.
You can randomly pick.
We could even say thanks, just something like thanks, Colin, something simple like that, or something fun. It's up to you. Thanks, Colin is an easy one.
Yeah, they can't make like a short case for why they should get this game.
So they should say, they should.
Within
they
one
say,
sentence
so all what they need to
of
do
less
is
than
say,
10 words.
Yeah, they would say, I need the game because.
I need the game there. That's good. I need the game because, and then just like no more than
whatever you want to say.
10 words after that. Whatever you want to say.
Yeah, and thank you everybody so much for coming along to watch today. And I want to say one thing as well before we do leave. The game, right? We're here at Frontier Development because of Jurassic World Evolution today, and I think it's worth mentioning to the team. And I know that you had a word with the team. You got to meet them earlier on and say hello to them. But what was that message that you sort of gave to those guys? Because I was busy preparing the. It's just for me. No, I'm joking.
Yeah.
It's just like.
No, yeah. I wanted to get everyone together just to talk about. How outstanding the work is that's been done, and how I acknowledge that I mean, you should see this. I mean, I'm here, and the amount of people that are working every single day to make this game richer and better and deeper and to expand on what they've already built, it's astounding. There's so much talent here. I'm in Cambridge, England, and we're here for a reason. There's a lot of brilliant minds who are working on this game right now, and as we think about where we're going to go into the future, as we expand the world, to know that we simultaneously have this virtual world that exists that we're going to be able to expand at the same time, and the reason why I talk to you guys and the reason why we have so much communication is I want these things to be hand in hand. I play games, I care about games, and I feel like the more communication we have, the cooler this is going to be, and it's very cool.
That's really, really cool, and I, can probably speak from everybody from this perspective that it's very exciting that you care so much. So thank you so much for that, and thank you very much for coming along today. We do have some winners. Apparently, we have Tigris Dark. Says, so my daughter can play as well, which is, I think that's a nice enough reason.
Yep, solid win.
Official WebEx says, my friend is broke and wants to play. These were chosen at random, by the way, and these are the winners. So congratulations.
Those are random? Those are both really good reasons.
Picked at random. And Spider-Milk says, well, we're about to find out that something about the Jurassic experience, we'll get there in a second.
Should
we're getting these live.
Be shared with everyone. Does that include him or her?
Yeah.
Spider-Milk? Okay.
Okay, so congratulations to Tigris Dark, Official WebEx, and Spider-Milk. So, have you enjoyed your first video games live stream?
I love it. I could hang out here all day. It's like being on a couch with a friend playing games.
Fantastic stuff, and thank you again so much.
Thanks, guys.
And I'm looking forward to, you're welcome back anytime.
All right.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks.
Bye. Thanks, everyone.